to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, next is our mega statement read by our student representative, Addison Zimmerman.
All students will graduate prepared to succeed with the knowledge, skills, attitudes, and behaviors necessary to achieve their personal goals and make a positive impact in the world.
Thank you, Addison. And Addison, you also have a student representative report for us, correct?
I do. Good evening, members of the board. I am pleased to present an oral summary of the activities across our school district this month of October. A more detailed written report will be available at the CFAUSD stakeholders in the public minutes and in the board's monthly newsletter, board considerations. So at the high school, 53 students were inducted in the National Honor Society, which is one of the largest groups inducted into the Chippewa Falls chapter. One of our women's golfers went to state where she finished 18th out of 78. The first women's golfer to compete at state since the 1970s. 232 parents attended parent-teacher conferences, and music along the Chippewa event had a good turnout and ended with a performance by the Blue Golds. At CVHS on October 15th, seniors took a trip to CBTC. They have made a slight change as all students are in the JAG, or Jobs for America's Graduates classes. On October 29th, 2 members of the HR department will visit to explain what they are looking for in applicants, as well as how to fill out tax forms and other employment paperwork. At the middle school, on October 2nd, the 7th grade Trek team went to Camp Manitou to do team building activities. On October 3rd, middle school students visited local manufacturing sites for schools to skills tours. Fall parent-teacher conferences are happening on October 22nd and 24th. On October 28th, they will be starting a spooky all-school Halloween bingo. At Homestead, they have been using their CARES room to give students a place to calm themselves. They also have several families show up for their PTO ice cream social. At Southview, they had Wade Fernandez, excuse me if I pronounce that wrong, a touring musician who draws inspiration from nature and incorporates diverse musical genres into his compositions. Students participated in free vision and hearing screening from the Lions Club, and they are also going to be participating in Penny Wars, with all proceeds going to local veterans. At Hillcrest, they are starting their fundraising for their new all-inclusive playground. Their goal is $200,000 to create a new playground area, including gaga ball pits, swings, and green space for soccer, football, and kickball. At Stilson, they are working on building community by creating fun activities to get students from different grade levels connected. They are continuing their Happy Hives, where students are paired with a staff member in groups of 10 to 12, which is all grades mixed, and do activities together. And in conclusion, our district is working on exciting and new opportunities for all students across all levels. Thank you for your time and attention. I would be happy to answer any further questions.
I have one comment. The donkey ball game, we are bringing back. Crosby family in Jim Falls had donkey ball for many years in the 50s and 60s and 70s, and they traveled the United States, so it was held here at Chi-Hi many years. It was not pretty, but it was held here, so good luck on that.
I do know that Koonsman did send out a nice little, board members are welcome, so if you wanna go.
Yeah, the donkeys trained really well too.
Yeah, they sit down, whatever, yeah.
I played when I was in high school. I recall what I did.
In fact, I'll say no.
Board members, any other questions for Ms. thank you for your report.
Well done.
It's easy being the bearer of good news, isn't it? All right, next up is welcome and guideline for public comment. Is anybody signed up under the non-agenda related public comment? Anybody signed up under the agenda related public comment? Next, we will go on to showcase a school. We are going to start with 5.01, 2024 WASB, WASB Business Honor Roll Recognition. I'll start with an introduction with Mr. Holmes.
All right, here's Charlie. All right, I can't thank you folks enough for being here tonight and being recognized for your partnership with the school district at Chippewa Falls Area Unified School District. My name is Jeff Holmes. I'm the superintendent, and I can speak on behalf of our staff and our students certainly, and their families, that the work that you've done, particularly over this past year with the district, is we are very grateful for the things that you've done for our students. I know Laura Buschendorf, who has probably worked closely with all of you in regard to those things that y'all bring here. Everything that you do for our students, particularly where our career and technical education work going on in our district is concerned, is absolutely fantastic. I also give kudos for Kathy for recognizing the opportunity through WASB to bring you here and recognize that work on our behalf. Again, thank you so much for what you do. It is greatly appreciated. And with that, I'll turn it over to Mr. Check.
Right. So on behalf of the board, I do have some things that I'm going to read as sort of an introduction, but before I do that, again, on behalf of the board, I want to say how important it is to have you here and what you do for us. Not what we do for you, but what you do for us. This board and this district really believes in the partnerships with the community employers, really believes that, you know, going to a college is not the only thing that we do in this high school. We really believe in the STEM programs and the programs to get the 2-year degrees, to get the training, and that's exactly what you bring to the table. I mean, it's just incredible that we're able to do those partnerships and that you guys take the time out of your busy working day to be able to do that for our students. So just on behalf of the board, thank you for everything that you do. The WASB Business Honor Roll recognizes outstanding local businesses that support their schools. Chippewa Falls Area Unified School District nominated the following businesses to be recognized on the WASB 2024 Business Honor Roll. So I'll start with TTM. They are not here tonight. We've already figured out who's going to go there and who's going to get the picture taken with them. But TTM Technologies has partnered for many years with the Chippewa Falls School District in helping coordinate and co-sponsor a biannual event at our high school that we call STEAM Night, which stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, Arts, and Math. TTM representatives work diligently with school staff to bring together businesses, public service organizations, higher learning institutions, nonprofits, and other organizations from our area who host booths to share how and why STEAM skills are utilized in their given fields. This event has been a large success for many years as it enhances post-secondary readiness and closes the skills gap. CFAUSD appreciates our partnership with TTM Technologies. Next is Chippewa County Economic Development Corporation. I'm told that Charlie Walker and Deb Chilson are here. First, before I read this statement, I'd like to have them introduce themselves real briefly.
Deb?
Hi, I'm Deb Chilson, formerly Chilson Automotive, but now Chilson Properties. So thank you for having us here.
Charlie Walker, President of the Chippewa Economic Development Corporation.
Chippewa County Economic Development Corporation has been a great partner with the Chippewa Falls Area School District for many years in many ways. This past year, CCEDC once again co-sponsored and helped coordinate our 8th STEAM Night. This open house type event is held at our high school, and the access to CCEDC's extensive membership of businesses throughout the Chippewa Valley allows us to invite many companies to come and showcase how STEAM skills are used in their businesses. The staff at CCEDC make the connection to schools very easy, and CFAUSD is grateful to have this strong partnership. At this time, I would have the board recognize both Charlie Walker and Deb Chilson on behalf of CCEDC. Yeah, we can do this individually now. What do you want?
Just do it.
So what do we have? Where do you want us?
Anywhere you, there's good, if you,
Smile and be in the picture.
yeah, just everybody can smile, cause you know.
This is not a criteria for school board.
All right, great, thank you.
Well, hold on, we're not
Oh, you
doing this
want-
the right way.
Hey,
Charlie, were your ears ringing?
You want the, you
We
want
gotta
to
get
get
it.
the
Yeah.
certificate?
Yeah.
You gotta give them the certificate.
We gotta do something fun,
Oh.
because otherwise you know who we're talking about, will get mad at us if we don't do us
Oh, you didn't do that.
that's, what is that, selfie
A
thing?
selfie? Short selfie stick. Selfie.
Yeah.
That'll be
You know,
Brittany.
I've got some students, as you know, they're better at it than us, but
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Here, I thought you were gonna try reading.
I've got a story for that too.
Sure you do.
It helps to have longer arms for the selfies.
I was gonna have you do it, you know,
All right, next is PMI. We have a bunch of people from PMI. We have Chris Conrad, Lisa Heidke, Dana Hansen, and Travis Parent. If you could stand up and introduce yourselves.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Travis, Training and Development Coordinator for PMI.
I'm Lisa Heidke, I'm the HR manager at PMI.
I'm Chris Kennard, I'm the president of PMI.
Dana was not able to make it tonight, so.
All right, thank you. PMI is a local company that does steel processing and manufacturing and has been a very strong partner with our district for many years in supporting students in our youth apprenticeship program. This past school year, PMI employed 5 YA students, engaging them in real-life experience. This solid relationship is one that CFAUSD appreciates greatly and plans to continue for many more years. PMI. Now that we've got this down.
You need a bigger one.
Dennis, you got that haircut, you should be.
Receive it on that.
Okay.
No, you need it. All right, just smile. Perfect. Thank you.
And this time you get to keep it.
Thank you.
Having those kids at our shop has been incredibly important for us. Our workers that get to work alongside them, it inspires them to have young people very interested in the work that they do every day that sometimes they find mundane. So when you have a young adult come in and that's excited to get the work done, it inspires our people, so thank you. We also know that funding's tough, right? And you continue to fund to have the people here like Laura that makes this possible. That's so incredible, so please keep the funding coming. Okay? Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, and now we have Northern Cross Arm and Pat Mitchell, Joy Bergeron, Amanda Empey, Kevin Waltzine, and Peter Anderson are here.
Actually, Joy and Pat weren't able to join us.
Okay.
I'm Amanda Empey. I am HR manager for Northern Cross Arm Company.
Kevin Walzine, I'm the plant manager at Northern Cross Arm.
Jennifer Anderson, wife of Peter Anderson.
So Peter Anderson, vice president, but I'm currently in the process of purchasing the company. So I'll be the new board.
Excellent. All right, Northern Cross Arm is a Chippewa Falls-based company that provides the finest quality pressure-treated lumber to retailers and the lumber industry across the nation. They have been a champion of students in our youth apprenticeship program, employing students in each year in their production operations division. These opportunities are so valuable to our career and technical education efforts and give students experience that will help in many ways beyond high school. Thank you, Northern Cross Arm, for your continuing support of our students.
Peter and Jenny.
I want to say a few words.
I guess we would just, we appreciate the young people that come and work at our facility. It's encouraging that there's still young and motivated kids that want to come and put a day's work in. They're happy to be there. Just had a conversation with one this morning in a review and asked him how things are going, and he said, well, it's nice to come to a place where it's fun to work. So we appreciate the students. Thank you.
So just in closing, I would say, other than obviously another thank you, I think it's wonderful that you look at how other communities, you may have the educational field be kind of set aside from industry, and sometimes they're kind of pitted against each other for dollars, and this is just amazing that we have this cooperation here. This is exactly what every other community should follow. So again, you guys make that possible.
Thank you guys.
Thank you very much.
Well, thanks, Laura. We didn't say you could leave. I got work to do. Still waiting, Laura, still waiting.
We're taking that dramatic pause.
Thank you, Laura.
Okay. 5.02 is Cardinal Care, and we will have our Cardinal Care Showcase presented by Jamie Gansky.
Hi, I'm Jamie Gansky. I am the principal at CFAUSD as well as the Mental Health and Resiliency Coordinator for the school district. And I am very excited for the opportunity tonight to talk about all of the mental health supports available for our students and their family members in our district. So I'm going to give just a very brief overview of what we offer as well as a little bit about the data. So when you look at Cardinal Care, that is all of our mental health supports that we offer within the district. Our mental health department consists of 2 people. It is myself as well as Shannon Larson, who is our mental health navigator. So she is the amazing one that works directly with the parents to help set up the services. Within Cardinal Care, again, that is the umbrella term that encompasses everything that we offer. We have 3 main buckets of support that we're able to offer to our students and their family members. The first one is called our school-based mental health. This is where our community clinicians come in and work directly with our students one-on-one during the school day. This is location-specific data when we talk about it, so the pay source is irrelevant. We have several clinicians that come in and work with our students, and I wanted to give a very brief overview of the data for you. We have been offering school-based mental health for the last 11 years in our district. And we currently partner with 28 agencies, and we have about 55 clinicians coming in and working with our students. These 2 numbers change quite frequently throughout the year as our needs change. So when we have an increase of referrals of students, we reach out to our community partners and ask for additional therapists. So again, that number changes. You can see the data just from the last few years. These are all post-COVID data for you to show you that the number of students utilizing school-based mental health has significantly increased these last few years. Another point of data that I'd like to point out is the number of students that have been able to utilize school-based mental health over the summer in our district. So for the last 3 summers, we have been able to offer school-based mental health year-round in our schools. Now, there have been many benefits of offering this year-round throughout the entire summer. In the past, if a student could not find transportation, they would typically pause over summer, which meant our therapists had to fill their slots with additional people from the community, and then we'd have to wait at the start of the school year for the transition for the spots to open for our students. By being able to offer it over the summer, we're able to keep our students consistently seeing their therapist and consistently filling our therapist slots as well. So it's been mutually beneficial for both students, our schools, and our therapists to offer this. And you can see that the utilization rate has been quite high for being able to offer it over the summers. Another point that I mentioned last year, I believe, to you is when you look at each month specifically, that's the number of students that are seen in our district that month. You can see that in 21-22, in the month of September, for example, we had 53 students. The following year, 119. We almost doubled our utilization rate each month that year, and we've consistently kept it that high. And so when we say that we've had a spike, it was quite an increase in utilization over the last few years. Another area that we're able to support our students is called our Student and Family Assistance Program. And with this program, we're able to offer 4 free counseling sessions to all of our students and their family members. We then expanded this to also offer parent coaching and youth coaching to all of our students and their families. We anticipate that there will be around 325 counseling sessions that we pay for throughout the school year. We anticipate that we will pay for around 25 or more parent coaching sessions, and we anticipate we will pay for around 50 or more youth coaching sessions throughout the school year. And again, this data has been based on the numbers that we've utilized for the last 11 years, and we're typically keep it right around that anticipated utilization rate. For our third bucket, it is called an interconnected systems framework. And this is for all of our as-needed mental health needs. So anytime we have a clinician come in and offer a co-facilitated small group, or offer professional development to our staff, or offer consultation to our staff, or anytime we need any additional support from our community to come into our schools, that's the pot of money that we set aside for that. We also use that to help pay for staff to come into our parent-teacher conferences and our open houses so that we can have booths where we have someone sitting and educating our families about the supports available. So again, just that extra bucket of whatever mental health support we need, that's how we're able to fund it. So for the last 5+ years, I've come in and spent my time here in front of you going over all of the data and the utilization rate. And so I figured this year I would do something a little bit different for you. So this year, I thought it would be more beneficial for you to start meeting some of the clinicians that are coming into our buildings from our community. Because one of the most amazing parts of how this works is our partnerships with all of our clinicians. And so they wanted an opportunity as well to come in and let you know what it's like working with our school district and coming in to work with our students. So our first one for you tonight is Terry Shakti. She is a licensed professional counselor at Family Therapy Associates. She has been a school-based mental health therapist for 2.5 years in our district. She comes 2 days a week currently in our district. She provides summer school-based mental health for us, currently located at our middle school. Currently, she comes into Homestead, Hillcrest, Jim Falls, Parkview, our middle school, and our high school. So I'm going to turn this over to Terry to let you hear her side of what it's like working with our students.
Hi. Well, being a resident of the Chippewa Falls area, I'm really happy to be able to provide services for our community and provide services for children and families in need. The ability to come to the schools has made such a significant impact on reducing some of the barriers that families often face in bringing their children to a traditional office. Not only because of lack of transportation, financial barriers, often parents can't take time off of work, or they're trying to navigate daycare for younger children, or I've often in my office had children come with their parents and their older siblings to therapy because they don't have any options. So the ability to come into schools not only reduces those barriers, but it provides options for families to receive mental health services where they might not otherwise be able to. In addition, it allows us to collaborate with teachers and support staff to meet children's needs within the school environment and provide real specific recommendations, not only to support the staff in working with these children, but also support the children throughout their school day. It also allows us to hear about progress that teachers are receiving and not having to have anybody do that outside of hours or trying to leave voicemails for teachers or emails for teachers. You can meet up with them even, as you're dropping a student back off at their class. So those barriers are all really helpful to be able to come into the schools and have that kind of real-time feedback with them. Sorry. I asked some of my students what they liked about having therapy in school, and I thought I would share some of the answers with you. I received the following. I like therapy at school because my mom doesn't have to worry about me so much. I like therapy at school because school is really hard and boring sometimes, and I like having something positive to look forward to during the week. I like therapy at school because I feel happier when I go back to class. So I want to thank you for your ongoing support in providing mental health services for our students. And I look forward to continuing to partner with everyone in our school district to build resilient, confident, and capable students.
Thank you, Terry. Our next one is Laurel Tinsley. She could not be here tonight, however, she did send a video for us to show. Laurel Tinsley is a licensed clinical social worker at Family Therapy Associates. She has been Chippewa Falls' exclusive school-based mental health therapist for the last 3.5 years, meaning she only works in our school district. She comes 4 days a week in our district. She provides summer school-based mental health therapy at our middle school for the last 3 summers, and she partnered with the Boys and Girls Club after school to provide services to our students at the YMCA for a year. Currently, she is in Southview Elementary, Stilson Elementary, the Chippewa Falls Middle School, the Chippewa Falls High School, and Chippewa Valley High School. So here's a message from Laurel.
Hey everybody, my name is Laurel Tinsley and I'm a school-based therapist here in the Chippewa Falls School District. You can find me primarily in the high school, the middle school, the alternative school, and some of the elementary schools as well. And I work for the company Family Therapy Associates in Eau Claire. But I just wanted to take a minute to explain some of the benefits of providing therapy in the school setting. My office is located in Eau Claire, and so it's really difficult for families in Chippewa to make that trip sometimes. There's a lot of transportation barriers there for families, and so being able to see them in school, where they usually are here most every day, it's really easy to catch the students here and be able to have that consistent engagement with them. Also, a lot of the parents of the kids I work with, they are working, and so it's difficult for them to take time off to bring their child to the appointment. And something else I thought about too is when a parent does have to pick up a child to take them to an outpatient appointment, the child is typically missing a lot more of their school day with transportation to and from the appointment, and then the appointment itself too. So it's really nice that they're not really missing a whole lot of their school day by coming to see me right there in the building. And then I also really love being able to support and help the teachers and school staff as they help to meet the needs, the mental health needs of the students in their building. I really, really value that part of things. And it's so awesome too, because in the summertime, the middle school is available to me to be able to do continued sessions throughout the summertime. And that is so beneficial because being able to continue that mental health treatment throughout the summer months when they're home is really helpful, and not having to make that trip to Eau Claire again is such a big piece of things for these families. I have many kids who they skateboard or ride their bikes to the appointments, and sometimes they even walk. So it's really, really awesome to be able to be right here in the community, which is convenient for the kids. So I also wanted to highlight too the EAP program and grant that you guys have here and how beneficial that has been in so many different ways. But I have a lot of families who have some insurance barriers, whether the parent forgot to fill out the paperwork for insurance, and so their insurance lapses and they don't have it for a period of time, but each student has 4 of those free EAP sessions available to them each school year, and I use those all the time. It's so helpful. That way there's no gap in their therapy with me, and we can continue meeting while insurance issues are resolved. So that's really helpful. And then I do have some families where it's not very affordable for them to continue seeing me for therapy, but we have those 4 free sessions to kind of help offset that cost for them. So I just truly appreciate so much of what you guys do here to meet the mental health needs of the students here at the school. And it's so awesome to be able to provide that in your buildings, and I hope to continue doing that in the future. Thanks so much for listening.
So that was a word from 2 of our therapists. Now we also have voices from our parent and youth coaches as well. So the next video is of Kennedy Haleen. She's the owner of the Family Room, and she has been providing parent and youth coaching in our district for 1 year. She does provide services district-wide, however, she mainly focuses on the secondary level. So here's a message from Kennedy.
Hi, my name is Kennedy. I own the Family Room, where we provide support specifically to teens and their families. We have 2 main services. The first is parent coaching, specifically for parents of middle school and high school students. And the second is teen social emotional coaching, where we provide skill building services specifically to preteens and teens directly. This is our 2nd year being a school-based mental health provider in the district. And generally speaking, parent coaching is not a service that's billable by insurance, meaning that without the Student and Family Assistance Program, families would have to pay out-of-pocket private pay for this program and service. So through the SFAP program, families are able to utilize their 4 free parent coaching sessions with us or their youth coaching sessions with us. And it's really been a game changer getting to break down the barriers of, first of all, pay and private pay and transportation by getting to service youth at school during the school day, including some really awesome social emotional groups that we've ran in the past as well.
And the last voice is from Sherry Larson from A New Family Services. She has been providing parent and youth coaching in our district for 3 years, and she provides services district-wide. She put together a PowerPoint and is unable to be here tonight, so I'm going to do my very best to represent her through her slides that she's created for you. So the objectives for tonight were that she wanted to make sure you knew there are several strengths of the Cardinal Care program. She's going to present data on the parent coaching services provided and parent comments in support of the service. She provided data on youth coaching and comments from the youth, as well as data on youth coaching from the parents or caregivers. So to her, Cardinal Care is a trusted resource to initiate help for children's mental health, immediately meeting emotional needs with a 48-hour contact expectation, empowering children and families by offering support when they are motivated for change. The DCLT, or District Community Leadership Team, assures quality and improvement. It provides a resource-filled website. It's data-supported, a way to learn and connect with community resources. It's available at the schools, so there are no transportation or time barriers for families. It's largely represented at the local, county, regional, state, and even federal through grant funding. It's a preventative measure to support children's mental health. It's using a team approach to quickly act on barriers shown in the data. For example, youth coaching, meeting in schools, and talking with insurance representatives. It's training staff and community members on understanding and supporting children's mental health. It's committed to supporting all students with healthy growth and development. And it's committed to creative, long-term funding and sustainability. So what Sherry did is she surveyed all of her parents that utilized parent coaching last year, and she was able to get 9 responses. And so it was scored on a 1 to 5, 1 being the lowest, 5 being the highest, how you would score this. The first question in the red is, I felt listened to by my parent coach. As you can see, all 5s. The second question, my parent coach related to me in a positive way. And the third question in that kind of black As a Black Navy Blue, I felt satisfied with the help I received from my parent coach. So clearly our families are satisfied with the parent coaching that we're able to offer them in our district. Here's a sample of some of the parent comments that she received back from the survey. Parent coaching has been valuable to our family. It is not just for parents with kids that have struggling behaviors. It is a resource that is greatly appreciated and can be utilized in a variety of different parenting areas. Another one, there have been so many helpful changes in my and my child's situation. I felt like I was drowning before the coaching. Some days are still trying, but my child and I managed the situations so much better. The sessions did a great job of helping us shape the way we wanted to parent our sons and gave us assistance in giving us the structure to use for the summer. And these sessions have been very helpful for both my kids and me. I'm so thankful for this opportunity to learn with my family. Thank you. For youth coaching, she also gave a survey with 2 questions, and the youth responded. The first one in red is their response to, I felt my youth coach listened to me. And the second question in the white, I find value in meeting and working with my youth coach. You can see more positive responses from our students. Here are the youth comments. When asked, do you have any suggestions to enhance the youth coaching experience, they responded, it helped my anxiety go away and I still take meds for it. Stayed with youth coaching longer. More time, I truly enjoy it. It is okay the way it was, and nothing really. When asked, is there anything else you would like to share with us regarding your experience working with your youth coach? The responses were, no, not really. I think it is a wonderful opportunity provided to students. It was fun, and very fun. I liked it. So obviously our students are also giving us very favorable responses when participating in youth coaching. And then she also surveyed the caregivers on a scale of 1 to 5 to see how satisfied they were. And you can see all but one were rated at a 5. For the caregiver comments, do you have any suggestions to enhance the youth coaching experience? The responses were, things went well. My child said it was nice to be able to get problems off his chest. It would be great to have more than 4 sessions. Seems just as the child is trusting a caring adult, the end has come. This has been a very valuable and empowering experience for my child, and we are thankful for this opportunity and hope that it continues to be offered in the future. And then Sherry wanted to express her own gratitude. She appreciates this opportunity to celebrate the inspiring and effective Cardinal Care program and in whose positive data from the students and parents support the Chippewa Falls Area Unified School District's efforts and funding. Respectfully submitted by Sherry Larson. All right, so with that, I hope I was able to provide you with more of our amazing clinicians' experiences within the district working with our students and their family members. Do you have any questions?
For the summer, do you assist students with transportation since they're not already, I presume, at the school?
So all students over the summer, we have one central location at the middle school that all of our students go to. Typically the transportation is on their own. However, if they reach out for support, we're able to do our best to assist. A lot of our local churches have offered to help pay for transportation and things like that, where we can reach out to our community for support.
Is that 4 visits per year?
4 per
So they can
family.
renew it. The following year, they can start all over again.
Yes. And with the parent and youth coaching, is one of the comments, 4 isn't enough. One of the unfortunate things with parent and youth coaching is when our 4 sessions are done, that is not something that insurance will cover. And so one loophole that we have worked out with Sherry is anyone that would like to do group sessions after their 4, she offers group sessions and we're able to pay for that out of our Interconnected Systems Framework bucket. And that way it's actually an opportunity to build more natural supports because then anyone that's worked with her joins that group for additional sessions.
We ask questions or?
I think so.
Do you have any staff that's specifically trained in helping students that deal with racism?
That wouldn't be a specific thing that you get trained for. However, you could bring that up in your sessions and work through it.
I mean, as clinicians, it's definitely something that we help navigate. Anytime that they've been a victim of racism and stuff like that, it's definitely something we can work on in session. But as far as like specific training to like, I mean, are you talking like teachers?
Where they're more informed in regards to this.
You mean like school staff, or do you mean like therapists?
Therapists that would work with them, or coaching staff.
Yeah, and I think in general, therapists are trained in how to navigate some of those concerns. But as far as specific training, it would just depend. Like we all have to do a certain number of hours per year of like ongoing education, and so if they were trained in, after getting their degree in something specific, that would definitely be something that they could add on to the resume, and definitely something that I think, we all should do better about.
Yeah, I'm just looking for my own children. And you worked with my boys.
Yeah.
So I really loved you. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, unless there are any other questions, thank you, Ms. Gansky, and I don't know, Terry, it's Terry, right?
Yep.
How do you pronounce your last name?
Shakti.
Shakti, okay, I'm sure I would've got that wrong, so thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
that's
you
a
for
tricky
your
one.
presentation.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Right, yes.
All right, board members, next is 6.01, is OE2 strategic planning. Members of the board have received the CEO's monitoring report on OE2 strategic planning. It is now the board's responsibility to consider the report as evidence of compliance in this area. Superintendent Holmes.
Yes, since this is my area, I'll go directly into that report. I am pleased to report that our OE2 strategic planning monitoring report shows full compliance in all areas. Our strategic plan continues to effectively align district goals with the board's results policies while ensuring adherence to operational expectations. Key highlights of our compliance include our budget's executive summary clearly outlines how it supports the strategic plan. The board demonstrated its understanding by adopting the 2023-2026 strategic plan in July of 2023. Administrators regularly present monitoring reports on results policies and operational expectations, providing evidence of progress and identifying areas of improvement. The board held its annual workshop to review the strategic plan, most recently at Stilson Elementary in October of 2023. Our leadership teams conduct annual reviews and updates of strategic actions and outcome measures with building and department-specific plans developed in alignment with district goals. And lastly, we maintain a robust cycle of scorecard events from district-wide rollouts to mid-year progress checks. Consequently, the strategic plan reflects input from diverse stakeholders and considers external factors affecting education. The successful April 2024 operational referendum demonstrates community support for our direction. While we're compliant, we recognize ongoing challenges, including national and state economic pressures. We're committed to continuous improvement, focusing on enhanced stakeholder engagement, data analysis, resource alignment, and agility in our planning process. In conclusion, our strategic planning process is strong, compliant, and positioned to continue guiding the district effectively and meeting the evolving needs of our students and community. Thank you, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have at this time.
Great, board members, it is now up to us to vote whether or not to accept this report to make it our own for further discussion.
So moved that we accept it.
Motion by Olson to accept OE2 strategic planning report as our own. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Martineau. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. OE2 strategic planning is now accepted by the board, and we can discuss it further to determine whether or not the district is in compliance. Board members have any specific questions in that regard? Hearing none, I would look for a motion using our operational expectation policy motion language.
I would move that the district is in compliance on monitoring report OE2 strategic planning.
Motion by McElwain, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Fear. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The board finds the district in compliance with OE2 strategic planning. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Superintendent. And let's see, next is 6.02, OE6, financial planning. Members of the board have received the CEO's monitoring report on OE6 financial planning. It is now the board's responsibility to consider the report as evidence of compliance in this area. Mr. Superintendent.
At this juncture, I would like to turn this over for a brief overview by Business Manager Chad Trowbridge.
Thank you, Mr. Holmes. OE6 financial planning. The spirit of this is superintendent shall develop and maintain a multi-year financial plan that's related directly to the board's results, priorities, and operational expectation goals, and that avoids long-term financial risk to the district. There are 8 indicators, and I'm happy to report this evening that all of those indicators are in compliance. Just a quick highlight about each of the indicators. OE 6.1 is about a budget that is in summary format and understand the relationship between the budget and the results priorities and the OE goals for the year. OE 6.2 is about developing a budget that credibly describes revenues and expenditures. OE 6.3 is about a budget that shows the amount of audited data in each budgeted category for the 2 most recent years and the amount budgeted for the proposed year. OE 6.4 is about developing a budget that discloses budget planning assumptions. OE 6.5 is about developing a budget that assures fiscal soundness in current and future years. OE 6.6 is about developing a budget that anticipates changes in expenses, primarily labor. OE 6.7 is about developing a budget that provides resources for the board's own governing function. And OE 6.8 is all about a balanced budget. In terms of summarizing, we did end our fiscal year with a bottom line that was balanced and positive, which means that we added some money to our fund balance. So overall, no fund balance was used. The 5-year budget forecast, the budget development process, and budget hearing book aid in our transparent reporting. As far as improvement in our future, we are in the 2nd year of a biennial budget, and there were per pupil increases to the revenue limit of $325 per pupil. As mentioned earlier, the district successfully passed an operational referendum in April of 2024. There are some inflationary pressures that are drastically affecting the local, state, and national economy. In addition, our enrollment has been slightly declining. This is our final year of federal COVID funding allowances, which will keep our fiscal operations sound for the current year, and we will continue to utilize our 5-year budget forecast to prepare for our future.
Thank you, Mr. Trowbridge. At this time, I ask for the board's acceptance of the monitoring report.
Board members, any questions before we vote to accept this report as our own? Hearing none, I would look for a motion to accept OE6 financial planning as our own report for further discussion.
So moved.
Motion by Fear, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Martineau. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. OE6 financial planning is now our report to discuss. Board members have any particular questions for Mr. Trowbridge regarding the report?
Just a broad question. When do you think we start hearing rumblings what the next budget will do? Is that something that's going to far away?
Certainly after November, but likely after the 1st of the year.
It's going to be interesting.
If there are no other questions, I would look for a board member to make a motion using our operational expectation policy motion language.
I move that the district is in compliance.
Motion by Martineau, is there a second?
second it.
Second by McElwain. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. The board finds the district in compliance with OE6 financial planning. Thank you, Mr. Trowbridge.
Thank you.
Under our board consent agenda is a board member requesting removal of any particular item for separate consideration. Hearing none, I would look for a motion to approve the board's consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
Motion by McElwain. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Martineau. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. The board's consent agenda is approved as presented. Next is the superintendent's consent agenda. I don't think there's anything to remove. I don't even know that we need to approve that, do we?
No.
Okay. Nothing on the superintendent's consent agenda. All right, matters reserved for board action. No items have been removed from the consent agendas. Next is communicating with the board. 10.01 is our third Friday pupil count under OE12. Mr. Trowbridge.
Thank you. This is our official pupil count for the third Friday in September 20th. Just to compare current year, 2024, where we were at in September of 23. Early childhood numbers were up 3. 4K numbers down 20 students. Across all elementary buildings, down 9. At the middle level, down 38. At the high school level, down 6. Open enrollment in, up 12. Open enrollment out, up 22. The net effect of that is down 57 students year over year, which is about what we expected.
Board members have any questions regarding this report? Thank you, Mr. Trowbridge. 10.02 is School Health Services Report. And that will be presented by Ms. McMasters and a few others that she will introduce.
Yes, I'll introduce the important people. Nurse Bethany and Nurse Caitlin are here to present the Health Services Annual Report and to give you some information about school health services.
Hi everyone, I'm Caitlin Marinell. I am the district nurse for the 6 elementary schools. And this is our new nurse, Bethany Calkins.
Hi, Bethany Calkins. I'm the district nurse for the secondary schools.
And we're just here to tell you a little bit about nursing and health services and our role in the district. Figure it out.
There we go. Okay, so first we just start with a very brief background about nursing in general. And so the nursing process is universal. It doesn't matter the setting in which nurses work. This is how our brains are educated, how we're trained, how we are wired to take in information, assess it, and make a move very quickly. So we assess, we diagnose, we plan, we implement, and we evaluate, oftentimes simultaneously. And in shorter terms, we're great critical thinkers. So especially when you are the only licensed medical professional in a building, it is not lost on you the responsibility that you have. And so for a very small percentage of our student population, I know their names, I've met their families, I've written care plans, but for the vast majority of students that I oversee, I don't know them. And so the first time that I meet them, they may be standing in my health office, I may be responding to an emergency. And so the value that we add to the school system, I think, is apparent in those notes, but as well as a greater community, the CDC and the DPI have done some great studies that show for every dollar spent on school nursing services, not only the district, but the community itself saves twice that on missed work time for parents because they weren't sure what to do, doctor's appointments that weren't necessary, and as well valuable minutes that aren't spent away from the classroom because nurses and health assistants get those back where they belong. Just briefly, Caitlin and I have posted schedules. So as mentioned, I'm the secondary nurse. So barring any bopping back and forth that has to occur from building to building, which can certainly take place, my schedule is as noted, primarily full days at the high school, middle school, and then a rotation of CVHS.
And like I said, go to the 6 elementary schools. I try to go to the same building on the same day each week. Doesn't always work out that way, but we try our best. And I rotate to Jim Falls about every 6 days for half a day each week. But we try to stick to the schedule the best we can, but it's just really wherever the day takes us, so. So on top of like the day-to-day care that we provide students in the health office, you know, bandaging up bumps, bruises, taking care of students with stomach aches, headaches, whatever you can think of, you name it, taking gum out of students' hair. On top of all that, the district nurses here are a few of our responsibilities. So care plan management, RNs are the only individuals in the district that can create a health care plan. So whether it's a dietary care plan, temporary emergency health care plan, Bethany and I are the ones responsible for creating every care plan that you may come across in the school district. This can be for students with chronic health conditions or with short-term injuries. We create care plans for them to make sure that they are kept safe at school upon their return. We regularly attend IEP 504 meetings and do Medicaid billing for our special education students who receive nursing services regularly at school. For those of you that don't know, each of our schools has a trained medical first response team. So annually, Bethany and I meet with each of our teams at each of our buildings to train a designated group of staff members on how to administer emergency medications that are relevant to that particular school, as well as provide them with training on basic first aid, seizure first aid, anaphylaxis first aid, and really anything that might come up if we are not on premises. We have trained staff members who are there who are very confident and to provide care to our students. We also train our health assistants annually at the beginning of every school year on these emergency medications as well, and how to provide day-to-day care in the health office for when we're not there. A lot of our work too is done over the phone. Again, we are the only 2 nurses for the entire district, so a lot of our triaging and guidance is done over the phone to our health assistants. And overall, we just ensure that the health needs of all of our students in the district are met, which is roughly a little more than 2,000 students that we oversee between 2 RNs. So a week in the life, just to kind of give you guys some context of like what our job looks like on a day-to-day basis. We just wanted to give you some insight to what our day-to-day looks like at the beginning of the school year. Usually the week before the first day of school, we have a lot of care plan meetings, especially for our students who are high risk, who are getting a lot of hands-on medical care here at school. We'd like to meet with those families, the teachers who are going to be involved in that student's care, so that way we can come up with a plan and make sure staff are confident and trained, so that way they are prepared to take care of that student on the first day of school. We review and update all care plans before the first day of school and make sure they're distributed to all necessary staff members. Over 150 staff members received at least 1 care plan at some point this school year. And we also get started on training our medical first response teams within that first week of school. Some insight onto my first day of school. Bethany and I both kind of had a crazy first day. We each had a 911 call on the first day of school. You know, we just dove right in, really. So just to kind of give you an idea of what my day looked like, I started my day out at Parkview on the first day of school. I was training my health assistant on how to care for a new diabetic student that we had starting. Training her in insulin administration, how to care for the highs and lows that come with type 1 diabetes. At lunchtime that day, I was showing a special education teacher how to administer a tube feeding to a student. While I'm in the middle of doing that tube feeding, I get a call from one of my schools that a student's having a seizure, needed to give a rescue medication. So while I'm doing a tube feeding, trying to provide guidance on the phone about a seizure at another building, safely finish the feeding, go back to my office, make sure my diabetic gets insulin for lunch, book it over to my other building to make sure that they're doing okay with the student who had a seizure. And then we schedule a debriefing with staff to make sure that, you know, everything went okay, you know, kind of console staff. It can be really scary when that happens, especially on the first day of school. And schedule the debriefing to go over what went well, what could go better for next time. So I'm sure everyone in this room knows too that you never know where your day is going to lead you, and it's just really unpredictable as a school nurse. But that's just kind of some insight on what my first day looked like. It hasn't been that crazy since then, luckily. Got it out of the way early. But yeah, we schedule debriefings after any medical emergency, and we just make sure that we're there to support our first response team members because we're not there. So These are some things that are specific to my role. These are some things that are just specific to the elementary schools. We conduct vision and hearing screenings. Vision screenings are for all students K through 5. Hearing screenings are for kindergarten and second graders specifically, and anytime there's a parent request, we will perform a screening. We partner with the Bright Smiles Dental Health Program, who is awesome. She comes in about 3 times a year, 2 times for fluoride, 1 time for sealants. Any family can opt their student in to participate in that dental health program. Last year was our first year doing a free flu immunization clinic for students on campus for parents who consented for their student to receive their flu vaccination at school, which turned out super well, and we're actually on track to exceed the number that we had last year. Hand washing lessons for our kindergarten students, 5th grade human growth and development lessons for our 5th grade students, and the supervision of 6 health assistants.
Some things that are very specific to the secondary school nurse role is that I'm the CERT advisor, our student emergency response team advisor. So we have a really awesome opportunity for students who most likely are thinking about entering a medical or professional services response team field, so that they too get to be involved in emergency responses on campus. They receive additional training. We're going to be doing some CPR and AED training with them in the next week as well. So just a great opportunity for them to feel empowered and a little feather in their cap for some professional development as well. Lots of care plan development and distribution for school, as well as extracurricular activities. So every field trip that our students go on, we have to review. We need to make sure that anyone leaving the building who is under our care, who may need emergency medication while they're out and about with their teachers, has that readily available to them. We need to train those teachers so that they can use it in the field if they need to. And then as well, I have 3 amazing health assistants that I supervise at the secondary schools. This is me. So some chronic health conditions. So yeah, aside from the acute things that come up every single day for kiddos, we definitely have children in our system that have chronic health conditions that need to be managed. I will just highlight a few of those. Type 1 diabetes, 20 students in our school district with type 1 diabetes. I know adults who can't manage their type 1 diabetes. So this is a huge undertaking for kids as they come back into our buildings. It's a huge leap of faith for parents to send them out into the world and trust that what's going to happen is what needs to happen is what's going to happen. So the opportunity for us to allow students to feel empowered, to educate them, and for parents to feel safe while they're under our care is super important. 97 students with life-threatening allergies. If that's not enough to keep you up at night, I don't know what is. So at any given point, we are on high alert for students that may inadvertently come into contact. And those are just the kids we know about that have life-threatening
known allergies, yeah.
We discover a few along the way as well throughout the school year. So another really important thing that we do and provide training for all staff involved. And then just something else I wanted to highlight, mental health. That is the number for just my secondary schools. So we have 147 students whose parents offered at the time of registration under their health conditions a diagnosis of either anxiety or another mental health condition. This is huge, and this becomes really relevant when we talk about programs like we have through Cardinal Care. I can't tell you how invaluable it is for me to be able to say, but wait, I have somebody you can talk to about that. I have counselors right down the hall to talk to a parent and say, yes, you too can go to counseling, because some students don't know that they're having an anxiety attack. They don't know that that's what panic feels like, right? And so we're not out here trying to like blindly diagnose kids, but they're just learning about how to manage and cope. They don't have all the tools that adults do. And so we are often the first line of defense, if you will, as it relates to that kid that always comes down with a stomach ache, or that kiddo that just always seems to have a headache at this time of day. So again, just, really thankful for the support that we receive by way of mental health services in our school district, and wanted to call that out as something that we are definitely seeing more of. We have a total of 9 health assistants within the school district. They are amazing. I have heard that at one point that was not a full-time role, and I'm not sure how you all did it without them. They are our eyes and ears, and they are the boots on the ground, and we physically cannot be at every single building. So in addition to the training that we provide to them, they are just a really awesome group of compassionate individuals who care about children. They do those things that are listed there, but again, they are super responsible in communicating information to us, which is important so that we can make decisions when we don't have a child in front of us necessarily. So we just don't want to skip over the fact that they make our jobs possible as well.
Yes, couldn't do it without them, quite literally, so grateful to have them. This is just a glance at our annual report from this last school year. I believe you guys may have received it over the summer, but I just kind of picked out something that kind of was shocking to me at first. I put up like the last 7 years of health office visits that we've had on our annual reports, and in the last 7 years, we've had an increase of about 50% in our health office visits, 47,000 visits last school year. When I first saw that number, it was pretty shocking to me. But then when I thought about it more, I was thinking, like, our students do feel comfortable coming down to our health office to see us and our health assistants. They feel comfortable coming to see us and telling us about, you know, their bumps, their bruises, their headaches, their mental health concerns, anything that they can think of. We are a safe place for them to come. And when I looked at the numbers too, it looks like only about 6% of that 47,000 were actually sent home. So 94% of those students were able to remain in school for that day. So it's a very large number, but I look at it as like we were able to keep those students at school for that day and provided them the comfort that they needed to get through their school day, whether it's bandaging them up, whether it's giving them daily medications, whether it's just giving them a break from class for 10 minutes. We were able to keep 96% of those students at school for the remainder of the day. I just wanted to take a moment to list some of our health office achievements from last year. For vision and hearing screenings, we screened over 2,000 students for vision, over 600 for hearing screens. It is amazing to see after vision screening, seeing students come in that had a referral letter sent home and they come back to school wearing glasses. A few weeks later, we even had one student, we actually sent a referral letter home, they got it checked out, and the student actually had a cataract that needed to be removed, and that's something that the vision screener that we use was able to catch. So he had surgery, and now he's doing great, has glasses that he wears at school full time, but that's something that's just a preventative health service that we are providing to our students. Hearing screenings, I've had parents reach out to me saying, I had no idea that my student had a hearing concern. We were just doing a general routine screening on, kindergarten and second graders, took their student in because they failed their hearing screening and they either needed hearing aids. I've had a few that have found a hole in their eardrum that needed to be repaired and parents had no idea. So that's the reason why we do these things. For Bright Smiles, plenty of students are referred to a dentist for follow-up care. A lot of things can be caught early to prevent infection, needing teeth pulled, anything like that. Our flu immunization clinic, we had a great turnout last year for our first year, and like I said, we're on track to exceed that. It's a lot more accessible and equitable for our families to have a flu clinic on campus, so that way parents don't have to worry about driving their student outside of school hours or making an appointment, taking forever to get in. It's very nice for families to be able to have that option during the school day. Hand washing lessons, we're teaching those kindergartners early about healthy habits, about having good hand hygiene, hoping to reduce our rates of illness and absenteeism by starting those healthy habits early. Teaching our fifth graders about human growth and development and puberty so they are comfortable and confident in how to take care of themselves and their bodies as they go into middle school. Nurse Lexi last year and Bethany this year with our CERT team providing our high school students with these great life skills that they will carry with them well beyond high school and how to take care of their friends and family if an emergency situation were to ever come up. Our immunization compliance rate was 99.12% last year, which I'm pretty darn proud of, especially for a district our size. I was thrilled with that number, that's our compliance rate for our district. And care plan creation. We had 526 care plans in place last school year. I look at that as we kept 526 students with either chronic health conditions or injuries safe at school last year. And I think continuing to provide these services will keep our students safe and healthy and promote academic success in the classroom.
So in summary, we're trying to come up with something that demonstrated or talked about what it is that we do in a school setting, and this is what we decided on. Nursing is about caring, comfort, prevention, and assessing both spoken and unspoken needs, and empowering patients towards self-care. But school nursing is about doing all of these things for persons still in progress, children who are still learning how to be and stay well.
But thank you guys again for having us today so we can tell you guys about our job and our role. If you guys ever have any questions, you can email us, call us anytime, but thank you again for having us. Any questions or anything?
First, I was gonna be very impressed that you could train your kids just to be sick on the days you were at that specific. And I see that you actually, on a regular day, how many times do you get to actually spend the whole day at that elementary school?
You know, we kind of go through spurts, it seems like. This year has been pretty good. I haven't had to like travel between buildings super often, maybe only like 5 times due to like a medical emergency or urgent need. Last year, I feel like it was at least once or twice a week, I would say. It really depends. Also, you have to throw in there if our health assistants are ever absent or anything and we don't have a sub, you know, we go over there to cover just to make sure that someone's there to give out meds and to be, you know, there in the health office for our students. So it's really just kind of a toss-up. I'm sorry, I don't have like a great number, but yeah, kind of frequently.
And I do have an added benefit of 2 of my schools being very near each other, so I'll often say I'm going up the hill or I'm going down the hill. If you call Bel Air Boulevard a hill. And then, of course, I love to visit Jamie and the gang out at CVHS. But yeah, similar to Caitlin, you bounce if you have to. We're flexible.
Thank you for what you do.
Thank you.
All right, next is 10.03, our Cardinal Healthy Clinic update. Ms. Nador.
Well, thank you for a few more minutes of your time tonight. This is still in my learning curve, so I will do my best to answer any questions that come up tonight and or to find the answers to the questions you may have. So we invest our money to take care of our employees in a variety of ways, from the traditional coverage of visits to our doctor's office to financial counseling. We believe that taking care of the whole person leads to a healthier and happier workforce for our students. So we continue our partnership with Real Living, and this provides our staff with a variety of supports that are needed. Some of the areas our staff members have utilized so far this year include counseling, financial advice, legal advice, and professional coaching. There are also services that are used during the school year for conflict resolution, team building, and whole person wellness. Our partners at Real Living are willing to hear our needs and work with us to determine the best way that they can assist us in meeting the needs we have. So we're very grateful that they're able to give of their time and to attend our opening day with all staff. This year they were able to share what their message with our people face to face and give away free gifts that people like too. So our utilization of our EAP services was the highest that it has ever been in the past year, with 38% of our employees utilizing the services. The most were for coaching sessions. Coaching sessions were mostly around career exploration and transition, and the counseling sessions were mainly around mental health, specifically anxiety, and again, that's for our staff members. You can see that our employees are using counseling sessions this year, as well again as the mental health and anxiety being the leading presenting concern for our staff members. But Real Living is willing to work with us also on some of the ancillary services that we just come up with based on what's presented to us by our staff members. Another partnership that we have is with on-site chiropractic services. We work with Dr. Amanda and Nadine. They now travel to all of our schools, providing care for both our staff and our students. Additionally, they have office hours at Corger Chestnut 2 days a week, where our staff members and their family members can come to receive care. We continue to be pleased with the investment that we have made in building our own primary care clinic for all of our staff members and those on our insurance. This investment continues to save our district plan money and save health savings account money for our employees because they are not always meeting their deductibles. Let me get down to mine. Dr. Joels continues to provide high quality care for our people, and recently we have welcomed Ms. Hong, and she has been very well received. She replaced Renee Carlson, and we know she's well received because she's booking over a month out for appointments, so she's being well utilized. These are some of the instances and encounters that we've had over 4,000 interactions with our on-site clinic this past year, the majority of them for being office visits and labs. And one of the nice things we're able to offer to our employees is that their labs come at no cost to them. So again, saving them money and saving our district money. We do partner with Marsh McClellan Agency as our insurance broker. They help us with the negotiations for our different insurance plans, stop loss, third-party administrators, the management of our on-site clinic, and they advise us on our best practices to ensure that our plans are within the legal guidelines. So this is our total cost to funding ratio. We did exceed what we had projected or planned for, but back in January, Chad did provide you with that anticipation that that was probably going to happen. We had planned for 7 catastrophic claims for the year, and unfortunately, we experienced 9 catastrophic claims, so we were over what we had anticipated. However, we didn't need as much of the stop loss as our stop loss carrier had predicted, so that will help us in the future to obtain some better rates when we go for new rates. This chart just shares our plan year total cost and funding analysis. This does demonstrate, like I said, that we went over budget that you saw in that graphic, but again, what I think is good for us to see is that over the last 4 years, we as a school district and our claims have been under the national trend, which is that orange line. So doing very well overall in our medical spend, even with all of the rising costs. RX Benefits is a prescription rebate program that our employees have access to. And this past year, the partnership saved us $313,000. Now we're looking to see where we can save even more money, and we're partnering with a company called RX Valet, in addition to RX Benefits. So RX Valet will look for more cost-effective mail order pharmacies for our plan members, medication to be mailed directly to them or to be mailed to our clinic. We just met with them today, and part of the option, some of the medications that need to be shipped need to be refrigerated for a period of time, and so they could be able to be shipped to the clinic and somebody could then pick them up after work so that everything is maintained for what the prescription needs to be. There's no cost to our plan to participate in the services that they offer. They are paid on a percentage of the cost savings that they provide to us. And in reviewing our 23-24 plan, if everything were to stay the same, they would predict that they could save us over $450,000 in the first year. And again, at no upfront cost to us.
So what would they get? How are they're compensated on the savings? What is it, a percent?
I don't recall the percent. Do you recall that?
It's based on each prescription.
Another partner that we have is Alethius. That's our care navigation system that we encourage our employees to use, as they have a very quick turnaround, average time of about 1 day to get another appointment set up for a more specific care that our employees may need. So in the 23-24 plan year, 761 individuals contacted Alethius, so it's about a 75% utilization rate. We pay about $14,000 a year for their services that result in a savings of $533,000, which we had an increase of over $100,000 of savings from 22-23 to 23-24, as well as an increase in our employees participating in their services.
So what is a lost opportunity?
So those are the people that did not take advantage of what Alethius recommended. So they might have recommended that they go to shared medical technologies for an MRI, and our employee, we don't force them to use that option. They may have gone to a different provider to get that service. MD Direct costs approximately $28 per member per month. So we just pay a flat contract rate of $162,000 a year, and they specialize more in the orthopedic care of our employees. So they try to increase the turnaround time for our employees in getting those musculoskeletal claims addressed and problems, so that we're not spending money and our employees aren't spending money on approaches that may not be as effective. You can see what our cost has been and what our savings has been. So for the $162,000 a year that we invest, last year we saved $864,000, and that's after the cost of the service. Something else that they recently shared with us that I thought was important and also interesting, that since we started partnering with MD Direct, compared to the 5 years before we worked with them, and then the 5 years now that we've been partnering with them, there's been a 52% reduction in opioid prescriptions for our employees. So I think that that's telling us that we're finding some more effective services and treatments for our employees. The final partnership I wanted to highlight tonight is the one that we have with Teladoc. This is a service our staff can utilize at any time from anywhere. So this costs us about $22,000 a year. It's a virtual care platform that offers comprehensive solutions for a variety of needs, most usually sinus problems, respiratory infections, allergies, flu symptoms, rashes, and they're able to produce a diagnosis and a treatment plan, and that's all done virtually. And so again, we have about 40% of our staff participating in it, and it's saving us over $100,000 each year when we utilize Teladoc. So that is an overview of our medical spend for the 23-24 plan year. I can look for that percentage and share back with you what the anticipation is. Any other questions that you have?
It made me think when they were talking about a flu immunization clinic, or whatever you want to call it, at the schools. Do you do that for the employees at the clinic for free?
We do. It is happening this Friday, and then I think November 1st as well. And we've also actually expanded it, so it's free for anyone on our plan, on our insurance plan, but then we've also expanded it to include any employee who may not be on our plan, but who wants to still have the flu shot, they can have that. Our thought is that if our employees are healthier and not sick, they're here, and our best people are in front of our students, so we felt like that was a good investment for our people.
Board members have any other questions? All right, thank you, Ms. Tenua, for your presentation. Next is 10.04, elementary attendance boundary review update by Superintendent Holmes and Business Manager Chad Trowbridge.
Yes, in the board's package, you should have found a document, 23 pages long, which is the EBRC's first consideration of data. And it has included current historical enrollment data for each elementary school, enrollment trend analysis, projected enrollment for the next 3 to 5 years based on state data trends, demographic information, including socioeconomic indicators and special population distributions, capacity analysis of our elementary schools, which is yet to be determined. That study is coming. Neighborhood development information that Mr. Trowbridge was able to secure. Transportation data, more of that is coming once Go Right Way takes over here on November 1st, and they'll become a part of that process of helping us make determinations about transportation. Academics performance metrics, we've just gotten state results in the last couple of weeks, and Ms. Kern and her team are working on that, and you'll also get a report at next month's board meeting in that regard as well. Facility information, program offerings at each school, financial implications of potential boundary changes, and safety and security considerations. My question to the board, based on this particular document that you received, are we missing anything at this juncture, you think? Is there anything, a map?
A map would be helpful, I think.
Yeah, I can get that put in there. That is a good one. We've got Chad's got a pretty map we can put in there. Yes, that would be good to go ahead and give. I should also let the board know that on We have our first EBRC meeting agenda established for November 20th. It'll start at 6 p.m. at Corger Chestnut, room 201. Should last approximately 70 to 90 minutes. We have the agenda already worked out, and we have a list of questions to send out to all those people that will be on the committee. Currently, we're at approximately 30 something members, I believe. And the only people that we're waiting on is for the board president to let us know who the board representatives are going to be.
So first of all, I'd like to tell all board members, thank you. I think just about everybody did volunteer, and I want to say the two people are on this. It's not an honor. This is going to be a very political, hot button item for whoever gets involved in this. But again, thank you all, as I think just about everyone. But I've decided Steve Olson and Peggy McKillop will be on the boundary committee. I think we need two, right?
Yes.
Yep. So good luck.
So with that, I've got the invitation, when I say I mean Angela, has the invitations ready to go out tomorrow, so watch in your mailbox. Again, I've been pleasantly surprised so far by the reaction I've had to those people that are going to be committee members. I think through Mr. Trowbridge, myself, and others, I think we've put together a strong agenda. I think that the information that we've been able to garner thus far is going to be extremely useful in this process. We have, every elementary principal is going to be on the committee, plus Ms. McMasters and also Katie Koppenbarger. Those will be the administrative representatives on that group. We've had approximately 8 or 9 parents reach out and have become a part of that committee. We also have pretty strong representation from teachers. We also have city and county folks that have volunteered to be on that committee. So I'm looking forward to the process.
Do you have parents from each school? Each elementary school?
Not yet. We're almost there. If you know any Stilson parents,
I think I
send
probably do.
them our way, please.
Okay.
Stilson,
Yeah.
Southview and Parkview.
Check with their PTOs.
yeah, that's who we went to first, and I was surprised. Generally, when you go to the PTOs, they're pretty quick to respond.
Stills in Parkview, no?
Stills in Parkview and Southview.
So if you know any parents from those, please send them our way. And the invitations, like I said, will go out tomorrow.
Okay. So you provided under 10.04 a 23-page document. Is that something that is just for our
It
review?
is.
Or are you going
It's
over
not
that?
only for board review, but it's a living document that Chad and I put together, and we believe not only will board be reviewing it, the committee will be reviewing it, and it will be a living document for the public to be able to monitor as well. I will make people aware of that in the board considerations.
Do board members have any questions at this time?
And it will include a map.
Thank you. All right, then thank you, Mr. Holmes. Next is 10.05, review of construction projects complete for the 2023, 2024, and 5-year projection of capital projects. Mr. Trowbridge, Mr. Knowlton.
Yeah, Mr. Knowlton is here tonight, and he is ready to get his foot off the clutch and let it rip. Randy, I'll turn it
Drop the
over.
hammer. Just to give you a little bit of an overview of the document I provided. It does cover 5 years, plus the first page is what was completed this summer prior to June 30th. The first few years are pretty accurate. The last couple of years are not. It kind of gets less accurate the further out you go. The reason for that is the last couple of years are mainly just placeholders. There are things that need to happen, but maybe I'm not really quite sure of the order in which they're going to happen for those last few years. So there may be some jostling around, but it's all things that need to take place. I guess to start off with the first page, projects that were completed, a lot of,
Oh, I'm so sorry, you guys. I don't know what happened.
at least it wasn't inappropriate.
Here's our start.
Music. Aren't you not supposed to have cell phones? Right. It's on no volume.
Mine are shut off.
Thank you. Sorry, Mr.
You owe me
So
one.
sorry.
Next time it's donuts, you know,
Okay,
call me.
donuts for you.
All right. That makes up for a variety of sins. Anyway, so a lot of these, I have a lot of things listed on this first page. And the reason that is so, some of them are marked complete. The ones that aren't marked complete were completed after July 1st. So I will go through that. High school roof section replacement and tennis court remodel. Two of the biggest outside projects I've done at one time on the wettest spring of the year, or of the last 10 years probably. The roofing section did get completed prior to June 30th. We had a few issues. Weather was one, a lot of rain this spring when they were starting, this early summer I should say too. And then the part of the roofing project was removing and replacing some of the major gas line, and it's run across our building to feed well, parts of the kitchen, the 2 dryers in the laundry room, and a few different science labs. The mechanical contractor that was lined up to do that went on strike, just as the roofers were about to start. Make a long story short, I hired a bunch of roofers to cut up gas pipe, and it worked rather well. So they cut it into sections that they could be handled, got it out of the way, and completed the roof work.
Randy, did we recover from that rainstorm that did all the damage?
Oh, yeah. Yep, they were really good. That roofing company, Jackson and Associates, we did a bit of business with them, and they were very good. Actually, they did not even wait for the insurance to pay the claims. They paid them, just so we would have them quicker. So that really did, that did work out well. Also at the high school, DECA classrooms and some storage areas there. We had a little bit of a surprise, found some asbestos tiles, so that turned out to be a little bit bigger project than we expected, but that was completed. Middle school replaced the dock door. It was a kind of a safety issue. That was completed. At the middle school, we started working on an exterior sound project with the public address and fire alarm system. It was started, but has not been finished yet. Homestead Outdoor Beautification Project. I was approached by a couple of teachers from Homestead, and they had some grant money that they wanted to apply towards just some outside fixing up things. And they didn't have enough money to do it, so I told them I would match their grant. And boy, they did an awesome, awesome job. The front bus unloading area of Homestead, if you haven't seen that, they really did a wonderful job. Let's see, Hillcrest, I put this on here just as, because it was kind of a big issue. The air conditioners for Hillcrest Elementary were installed in May, first part of May. So those were used this summer, in spring and fall. We replaced flooring in rooms 29 and 30 at Hillcrest as well. Jim Falls, a couple of small projects. We installed an additional camera on the on the playground. We relocated some equipment in the playground, moved the sandbox area to underneath the sun shelter. Parkview Elementary completed replacing the last bit of carpet in that building, so that is done. Something I've been working on over the last probably 6 years. Southview window and blind replacement and IMC classroom soundproofing. Those both were started but were not finished until after July 1st. Camera replacement. There was a number of cameras in that building that were they were modern cameras, but they were just so old that they weren't able to see very clearly. So we replaced the top priority. I think we ended up doing 8 or 9 cameras, something like that. So that was completed. Stilson Elementary, ongoing water treatment. It's going to continue to be kind of expensive moving forward. what we've determined, well, there's a couple of interesting things about that this year. We've determined that, let me back up a little bit. We're treating for a couple of different things. We're treating for pH. The pH, which is, well, it stands for percentage of hydrogen. It's the scale of alkalinity to acidity in the water. If the water's too acid, it will start to leach the copper from the distribution system. And the DNR, believe me, doesn't like that at all with water quality. So we have to maintain that pH to make sure it's more of a neutral number. We have an ozone injection system, which is kind of a disinfectant, and it helps solidify the iron particles in the water. And then the last step are 2 big iron filtration tanks that we have to replace twice a year because they are just full. That's all they can handle. We were, the initial estimate was those would be replaced every 5 years or every 10 years, and now it's both of them twice a year. So once we have started on that track, things have been a lot better. We had kind of a miraculous thing happen over a 1-week period this summer, and that is the pH of the well water magically started to be really good. Really no explanation for it, other than the fact that it's really dry out. I don't know if that had a factor in dropping the water tables and that has some kind of a bearing on it. I'm not quite sure. Typical readings were around 6, which is very acidic. Right now, the well water right out of the ground is between 7 and 8, which is neutral. So 6.5 to 7.5 is pretty normal. So we still have the treatment system in place and still monitoring it, but really have no good explanation for why that changed. So anyway, things have been going fairly well there as far as the domestic water system. So that's that. Moving on to 24-25. So this is, a lot of these projects were completed after July 1st, and a few are still ongoing to be completed at the end of this month. But moving forward, I have $350,000 in there for potential real estate acquisition. I know one homeowner had approached me, and I think one had approached Chad about some interest. I haven't heard anything new since then. District-wide, currently, and it's going to be an area of focus for me for the next few years, we have a mix of older technology components in our environmental control system, which is connected all of our buildings district-wide to a central server. Same thing with our security system and card access. Like the middle school, high school still don't have new panels. A lot of our other buildings still have some old ones, and we're learning that the mix of old and new technology isn't working so great. So I'm going to be a little bit more dedicated in getting that stuff replaced, getting it where it needs to be. Okay, high school, we completed the tennis court remodel. If you haven't seen that, I recommend you take a look at it. It looks like $1 million as far as I'm concerned. Really looks nice. High school did a door replacement on the back gym. It was kind of a security place. It was kind of a lockdown location, and the doors weren't able to be locked. So those were replaced. The green team is working on a couple of, as you're, I'm sure, aware, a couple of solar projects. There's a small array and a big array. The small array components are underneath the press box right now. But I had planned on dedicating like $2,000 for that installation. At the high school in Gym B, we did a bunch of masonry repairs. It was $16,000. Middle school, the $100,000 I have associated with that. I have an asterisk in the notes under materials. What I do typically, if I'm going to do a roofing project, I will use whatever remaining budget that I have in the fiscal year ending June 30th to buy materials for the next roofing project. So it's stuff that I can order, have received in, having in the parking lot, and basically to use up every penny that I can of my budget. So you'll see in the next fiscal, for the middle school, it'll be about $350,000 for the labor portion of the next section of roof that we plan on doing. Also replaced the loading dock door at the middle school. And the outdoor sound, that will be completed at the end of this month, taking advantage of those professional development days to be able to get in and make a little bit of noise in the buildings. Hillcrest Elementary, door 10, it was a door that was kind of rusted out. It got to be a security issue. That was replaced. Parkview, we had 3 small skylights in the building that were starting to become problematic, so those were losing my voice, sorry, were replaced. Southview Elementary, that window and blind replacement, that was also part of that IMC soundproofing project that we did in there as well. That was completed. I guess the blinds actually won't be completed till the end of this month, taking advantage of those professional development days again. Stilson, water treatment, part of this was replacing the tanks and some other control work. The second part of that was one of the 2 ozone generators that we had there that had to be replaced. Ozone is very caustic, so the equipment that makes it and implements or inserts it into the system is kind of prone to failure because it kind of eats itself up from the inside. Okay, moving on to 25-26. I have $35,000 or $350,000 in there for real estate acquisition again. And again, I have for environmental controls and security, $100,000 for updated communication and technology panels for those 2 systems. Tennis court resurface, there's a kind of a resurfacing maintenance program that I had signed up for, so that'll be around $5,000 a year, just to keep it looking good. Middle school roof repairs, that's that second part. This is the labor portion of replacing one section at the middle school. And those sections, you know, run anywhere from $4 to probably $550,000 typically. Let's see. Southview Elementary, the other thing that I'm going to try to start incorporating, I got quotes from Sen for replacing all of our blacktop parking lots. So based on their prices and their condition, I'm trying to work those in to get those replaced as well. And again, still some water system, some additional money for that. 26-27, I have $50,000 each for environmental controls and security. That should complete that project. Tennis court resurfacing. Homestead Elementary, looking at mechanical, working on the pumps and replacing the boiler in that building. It's going to be an exceptionally, well, it's going to be a bigger project. Basically, we're going to have to do some excavation, take out a wall of the basement and cut it into little pieces and haul it out, much like we did the high school. So like I said, that is something that, you know, it works. It's an older unit. It works good. Probably not the most efficient unit. Jim Falls, environmental controls, updating some of the panels there. Parkview mechanical. I put boiler and mechanical, but this one in particular is more looking at their chilled water, their air conditioning system that needs to be replaced. The system that we have in place right now, it's getting very difficult to find replacement parts just because of its age. Asphalt for the Parkview Elementary would be $186,000 plus inflationary figures as well. Stilson, another $30,000. 27-28. Again, I put some money in there for real estate acquisition, tennis court resurfacing, some asphalt replacement at the middle school. Jim Falls, boiler mechanical, again, looking at replacing the boiler in that building. Asphalt also listed there. Water treatment again for Stilson Elementary. And then the last fiscal, 28-29, again, the real estate acquisition. High school doing another roof replacement. And I kind of have a note there between the high school and middle school. It'll be one or the other probably. Not sure which one at this point. Parkview, that amount of money is more leaning towards the boiler system and pumping system, recirculation system in that building. And again, Stilson Elementary right about $40,000. And again, a lot of that is, well, at this point, I'll probably be replacing one or both of the ozone generators and replacing those tanks again, refilling them, so. But that is kind of it in a nutshell. So I know I went through a lot of stuff. Any questions?
Realistically, Randy, how far can you budget? I mean, you're just whacking that.
Well,
I mean, is it
you
2
know,
years? Is 2 years realistic with
really, I mean, with any degree of accuracy, yeah, it's a couple of years. You know, because there's, you know, I try very hard to be very proactive on a lot of things, but still reactive stuff will bite you in the butt. I'll give you a perfect example. High school, well, all of our buildings. I have a PM contract with a company that comes in, goes through all our bleachers, inspects them, does maintenance on them, all of our backboards, make sure the safety straps are all working properly and all the control systems work. Been doing that for a number of years. Well, after the last inspection this summer, well, high school bleachers are all of a sudden now they're not operating very well. You know, the guys turn the switch and yet they have to half drag the bleachers out to get them to come out normally. So that's $20,000. And I'm trying to get 2 or 3 days where I can be in the gym to get that work done. So I'm just trying to schedule it right now. You know, I know basketball season's coming awful hard and heavy here, so working with Mike Thompson and Donna and to try to get that scheduled and find a couple of days where I can get in there and hopefully not interrupt the gym classes too much by having the bleachers out to try to get that work done before basketball season starts.
Boilers. How many boilers do we have that are no longer under warranty?
What's that?
How many boilers do we have?
Oh, I don't think we have any that are under warranty.
Boilers, we got.
Yeah, bowler. Don't get me going, Jeff. Well, it's funny that you mentioned that. The high school, which are, you know, high school and middle school, but the high school boilers, one of them in particular, the components are still under warranty, the labor is not. Last year it was probably about $60,000 because we had a major problem with the heat exchanger, one of our brand new.
They're my greatest fear.
Yeah, so you know, it's still expensive even though they're at least partially under warranty. So yeah, but like you said, Steve, a couple of years is probably about the best I can do because there's always, you know, things that come up. I've got our roofing management company, Garland, going through the high school right now to find the next likely candidate, you know, for a section of roof replacement. And, you know, you think everything's going pretty good. You don't have any leaks. It looks pretty good. Well, you get that heavy snow in the winter and all of a sudden we got a cascade in the hallway. And we've had that at the high school. And that was the section we replaced. So actually not this winter. It's not going to happen. So, you know, sometimes you still get surprised a little bit.
Well, I just want to say, Randy, thank you. I know that you're the first phone call when somebody has a complaint, but you don't get thanked when it does get fixed. So thank you for what you do.
Well, thank you very much, Steve. I really appreciate that. I'm going on 3 weekends in a row now, stuff happening. So it's been exciting. A lot of squirrel electrical issues. It's not a lot lot of fun.
And he's not kidding.
What's that?
Thank you, Mr.
And he's not kidding.
No, I'm not.
Thank you, Mr. Nolan, for your presentation.
Very welcome.
10.06 is R3 monitoring report update. An update from Ms. Masters and Mr. Holmes.
You want to complain about the state first, or you want me to do it?
I mean, you just want me to say that the YRBS middle school is not released, and I don't know that it ever will be?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
No.
it's one of those things for me, based on what I know about R3 and what the board is looking for, and lack of information from the state in that regard, we may have to adjust how we report out on R3. It's my recollection that the board did approve it pending the outcome of the data, and
I think it's gonna come.
we don't think we're gonna get it.
Not at all, or pushed off?
We don't know.
No.
They're
Anything, Jamie?
responsive at all.
I haven't heard a thing. And even in SAFE, our data that we did have was gone.
Yeah.
It was like grayed out. We couldn't get to it anymore. So I'm not sure you're having some.
The high school though.
The high school report, but I had already downloaded it, so we got it. But I don't know. I don't know if it's a staffing issue at DPI. I don't know why we're not getting that.
Staffing issue.
Yeah, I kind of feel like they're just having turnover issues and they just aren't
I don't know that
being able to
there's
do it.
anything we can
do until we get the data.
Why don't we put this, table this for a couple of months, we'll put it as a placeholder for, say, January. If you have the data, then we can bring it, if not, we will
Just push it down.
push it down.
We'll let you know.
When did we table it from last time? Do you remember? What month?
Had that in June? March? The March meeting? Yeah.
We'll just kind of keep track of it at the executive level when we do our meetings. If they have something, we'll put it on the agenda. If not, it'll just be postponed indefinitely.
We do the next monitoring report before I bring back
We
another.
might not even have the data by then.
I guess what we would need to do then is hear what would be the data that we would look at instead.
But I think we did hear everything for the previous monitoring report improvement, other than that data.
Yeah, we just didn't have the middle school, yeah.
Okay, well, thank you for that report nonetheless. 10.07 is discussion of board activities. September 26th, the 28th was wisdom sharing, and who attended that?
Peg and I.
And where was that?
Raise my hand.
You didn't go to see us.
See
I was
you.
with you in spirit.
Oh, okay, I said we didn't see you.
I could make a political comment on that, but I won't. Okay, so you do.
Yeah,
Why don't you tell us about that? Where was that?
in Seattle. This is more of the nationwide, so there was districts there from other states. It's always good to talk with other school boards that use the coherent governance model. They had a three-member panel of different board members, and it's interesting because with our model, right, our focus is on student results, and it was mentioned more than once or twice, yeah, no longer are we spending an hour or two trying to determine which garbage liners we're gonna buy, so it was good. They're talking about maybe having regional meetings, and for Chad, for the future for budgeting, I know they're looking at changing it because when they have it now aligns with the superintendent's meeting in Wisconsin. But as we near retirements at our upper level, I think it'll be important that senior administration attends the wisdom sharing or whatever, that's, so we keep the monitoring reports. I know Sun Prairie had a couple of assistant superintendents, North Dakota, California was, so we talked about desegregated data, spent a lot of time on the debrief part of the meeting, but yeah, overall it was good.
No, I mean, oftentimes, we really do what works for Chippewa, and you kind of leave there feeling there are things we have to continue to just do, but there are things that it's like, yeah, no, this works really well for us. Like not having a major debrief session would be one, so.
All right, thank you both, and thank you both for attending on our behalf. October 17th was the Parkview Learning Walk, and who went on that?
Always me on this thing.
All right.
Actually, there was like 4 board members there. This was the first time we invited stakeholders, and I think we had 5 or 6. And so it brought a new kind of dimension to it. And so it, like I said, our goal as a communication committee was to invite people who may be considering running for the board or in the future, or they may be looking at wanting to know how a school district operates or the individual school. So we will continue to do that. Kathy is spearheading that program. I think it had real merit, and I don't know, Jeff, you probably thought it was a good start. It's actually a really good opportunity, and it sometimes when there was only 2 board members that showed up and maybe 2 or 3 administrative staff people, now we have 10 or 12 people here, and so those individuals who are in charge of the walk and learn that day feel like the effort they put in, it was worthwhile because there was more people to see it.
The feedback that Kathy got from staff members and participants was fantastic. The teachers really appreciated that there were individuals there beyond just school personnel or school board members, and the individuals that responded to Kathy that were participants really enjoyed the time spent in school. And also the one that I was most thrilled about was the individual that wanted 90 minutes instead of 60 minutes.
And we were moving. And Melissa did a very nice job of putting it together, you know, and explained why we were seeing things and sometimes what to look for. And I think that was very helpful. And then made sure that we had some kid interaction, which I always think we should have.
All right. I do think I won the rocket.
Did you make your rocket?
I did. I made that one. I think I won the rocket launch.
Sounds like it was fixed.
Yeah, fix it on.
What grade level did you win this at?
Third grade? I think it was third grade.
Good one, Dave.
Third grade. Let the guy
It was
win.
in the ocean, so I
That was
was
the
like,
place.
I'd show it.
Have the WIA look into that.
Congratulations.
All right, 11.01 is discussion of meeting. Any questions, comments about the meeting? Board members all feel like they've had the opportunity to be heard?
I don't know, we're all pretty shy.
Yeah, we have a problem with that. All right, 11.02 is future agenda items and upcoming events. October 23rd, 4:30 to 8:30 is the WASB Fall Regional Meeting, and that is and Peggy and Sherry are currently registered. October 24th is the Policy Committee meeting at 10 a.m. November 12th from 5 to 7:30 is the annual board data review. November 13th is the board morning walk at the Chippewa Falls Senior High School at 9 a.m. November 18th at 9 a.m. is the AFJROTC official site visit at the Chippewa Falls Senior High School.
Can I speak to that one for
Yes.
just a moment? Again, invites will be going out this week.
They're out.
They already went out, so board members may have already
Responded.
Awesome, good. I am looking forward to that. I've been working closely with Sue and her team and with Donna and her team in that regard. You know, I do view it as a dog and pony show that we have to put on, but it's one of those things for me where the individuals coming in from Washington, D.C., based on my conversations with groups that are willing to endorse, someone from the governor's office is going to be there, someone from Tammy Baldwin's office is going to be there, someone from DPI is going to be there. We've got 3 or 4 state representatives and senators that are planning to attend. It is one of those things for me where I think we'll do a wonderful job of portraying what the school district is like and its potential for that program. But given what DC rep spoke about and how that individual spoke to our principal and to Angela, I don't want to get my hopes up too high because we're in competition with 2 other schools in 2 other states for the region. It sounds like the competition is highly competitive, but what I do know is that the work that's been done, particularly since 2018, regarding the school district and the CTE programming and the advancements that we've been making at other levels in our academic programming. I do think we have a shot at the program, but I don't want to get people's hopes up too high. I know that we are going to try our dead level best to try and get that program here because I do think it would be a feather in the cap of the district. Based on what I do know about declining enrollment in the state of Wisconsin, I think that program can help bolster our situation in many regards. during the course of all this, the things that I have learned surrounding junior ROTC and school programs, they're good to have. And I would love to see it in Chippewa Falls Area Unified School District. But I do know, based on what I've heard thus far, it's a tough competition to get DC to pick your school.
Is this gonna be in the auditorium or there?
It will be in the high school cafeteria is where we're gonna hold it. And we've worked with Donna to make sure that we're mindful of the passing times and things of that nature.
You mean you're not gonna let us walk down the hallway with the students? I don't really want to, I'm just saying.
I do.
You will get to see them for sure. But in that first passing time, you will be in the cafeteria during their passing time.
All right, before we move on, is there an airplane landing in our
I know,
parking lot?
do the same thing.
It sounds that way, doesn't it?
Enough over there.
Something's going on.
It's,
All right.
'cause
Is that a tier list, Randy?
Yeah, there we go.
Interesting that we're talking about the Air Force and all of a sudden.
Yeah, what a
Big brother
presentation
is
you put
watching.
together.
That's
All right, November 19th is our regular board meeting. November 21st at 6:30 is the information session for citizens interested in running for the board. Kathy Strecker will facilitate. November 25th at 4:30 is business after hours at Economy Furniture. And January 22nd, 24th is still on our radar for the Wisconsin State Education Convention. Let Angela know if you will be attending. Anything else coming up in the next month that I'm missing that a board member wants to add? All right, hearing none, I would look for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by Martin, is there a second? Second by McElwain, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries, we stand adjourned.